This is the 3 March 2026 Sewer Commission meeting, regular scheduled meeting. And we'll start with introductions. Keith, if you lead off.
Keith Canton, Assistant Sewer Foreman.
Lynn Pooler, Sewer Secretary.
Tim Redmond, Commissioner.
Dave Pierce, Commissioner.
Daniel Taylor, Commissioner.
Jim Craig, Select Board Representative.
All right. Thank you. We normally have scheduled public comment, but there is no one in the audience, so we'll dispense with the public comment and proceed into the approval of the January 13th minutes.
Motion to approve is presented.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Lynn, it's unanimous. New business is construction projects for this summer. Was that, Tim, something you
Tim asked me to
suggested,
put that
or-
on it.
Yeah, I just think we need to be very proactive starting at our first March meeting, our first April meeting, I should say. And we need to come up with the help of the sewer superintendent and the assistant superintendent. And I think we need to have a written schedule this year of construction projects. We are probably not going to be able to expend our full amount from our CIP. This will be the second year in a row. And until we can become aligned with the DPW on their projects, I think we need to have a very formidable and formal plan for what we're going to do with construction this year, not just kind of talk about it at the meetings like we do. We're very informal. So this year I'd like to propose a formal schedule. Keith, you can pass it on to Corey.
Yep.
And I'd like the superintendent to come back to the April meeting with a list of projects that we would like to pursue for this year, so we can get RFPs out and we can faithfully use our funds that we've appropriated for our road work in a different way than we have the last time we did it with Albert Street. Albert Street was not a success in my book. It was a success at the end, but financially we had a larger burden of it than I wanted to, and I'd like to avoid that.
So this would entail, just for guidance on Keith, is more than just line replacement. It could be point work, manhole point work,
Yep, there's definitely.
pump, our
station upgrade.
facility project,
I think
houses.
a lot of projects are gonna come from getting some camera work done, seeing what the lines look like now, because I think the old camera work we have is pretty dated now.
We've discussed camera work many times, so we need to get aggressive to actually do it and hire.
We actually appropriated funding a long time ago under prior commissioners to purchase a camera,
Yep.
and we've never pursued that.
The thing with the camera, there's multiple kinds. I mean, there's the camera work we kind of need, like Belmore does with their truck. It's a very expensive machine where they run the robot down and it
Yeah.
videotapes and everything.
We used to use Ernie Excavating's camera a lot to find problems and do
Yeah,
different
and-
things.
That one's kind of hard to go like manhole to manhole. And once you get under the water level, those cameras just go blind. You really can't inspect the pipe.
Okay. All right, well, we need to have a discussion on cameras because we appropriated money to purchase a camera at least 4 years ago that never was expended.
Yeah.
Lynn could probably find it in the records how long ago it was that we
Yeah.
made that
Yeah,
appropriation.
no, I know what you're talking about, but I don't think it's quite the same as like.
Well, then I'll look for a recommendation from you guys, from
Yeah.
you and Corey, as to whether we should withdraw that appropriation, which is still out there.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we didn't spend it in that calendar year, it's still in the record that we can purchase a camera.
Yeah.
So, and thank you, Dave, for the clarification. Yeah, there's a lot of other things that could be done. We could even include that generator that needs to be done down there in that one pump station that is the old generator that, I don't know what the problem is with it. But it's been discussed multiple times, and maybe it's time for us to put an RFP together and get that generator done.
Yep.
Or, um, the other project was the three-phase power down at the Moose Club,
That's the
Moose
one
Club Park?
that has the generator problem as well.
Okay, but I thought there was another one that was down at the Manchester line, and I guess I'm in the wrong building. We'll have to discuss it further
Yeah.
and get clarification on what's what. But, there's plenty of projects that we could undertake to keep the system operating properly and, make sure that we're using our funds appropriately.
Also important that our budget be consistent year in and year out.
It's been a challenge since we don't align with DPW in the last few years, because it was easy to plan based on the road plan, but that's in flux now for a lot of reasons.
They're, yeah, they decided, well, they got $500,000 in the election coming up, so they're waiting to see how much money they're gonna have before there's a couple of plans, ready, but they don't know how much money they're gonna have, so.
Well, I also think it should be duly noted, and for a selectman to know, is that, to me, that the selectmen were comfortable allocating funding for at least one reclaiming project, full project for one full road. It sounded like that, maybe I interpreted the reading wrong, but if we could get the selectmen and the budget committee on board with 1.5, we'll pay the other half for the paving and all the other expenses that goes into rebuilding a road. So there would be a cost benefit to working with the sewer department to try to increase the funding proportionately so that we could pay our fair share and the town wouldn't incur the full expense for a road project.
That's good. I didn't get that impression, by the way.
No? I guess I must
Well,
have.
Adam always wants to take care of the main roads, and we're trying to push him to do some of the side roads, depending on how much money, some of
I
them,
know,
like
I know
the
there's
paths.
I know you follow the pavement index program where you index the pavement and every 10 years you
Yeah.
wanna do something. If the funding's not gonna be there from the voting side of it, then maybe it's time to think about coming back to the old plan and doing a few side roads and try to get a few more years out of the main drags.
Good.
Because we were only down to about 5 projects, as I recall, 4, maybe 6 at the most. Projects where we have to completely replace all of the lines, and that's been in a CIP plan for the last 20 years. We're at the end of that long run. And these roads down in Pinardville and the Rochambeau area and Higgins, those are some of the final roads that need to get done. And then the sewer department has become much more of a maintenance and less of a construction division, because we will have replaced all of the old problematic clay lines. I mean, what we haven't replaced, we've lined or replaced with plastic pipe, or the newer lines are plastic anyway. They're not clay lines. I mean, the clay lines date back to the inception of the sewer system, because that's what they used in those days.
Do you know if Public Works has a definitive list of the roads we're most interested in?
Yes, they
Segments?
publish a list every year.
No, no, that we're interested in, not them.
Well, we've discussed it at length, but I will be sure that I convey that information to the DPW as well, to try to work things out.
Yeah, that would be good.
Thank you, Tim.
Because it doesn't make sense for us to go down to a street like Higgins and rebuild the sewer line and just pave the whole road again
No, I agree.
and
I
leave
agree.
all the drainage in place and not put gravel under the road.
Right, I agree.
So that's why there's 2 spending mechanisms in
Right,
play,
right.
and it'd be nice if we could spend together.
And clean up some of those roads that are like goat paths. You
Yeah.
know.
But that's a joint decision.
Very good.
But I just wanted to put it on the record that I think that we need to take an aggressive planning approach to this and formulate a written plan and work from a written plan as opposed to just discussion. Okay?
Dan,
I'm pushing, once again, we're pushing with Mike to get that survey done down in that neighborhood.
Dan, any other thoughts on
Nope.
new business? Okay. On the construction Lynn, you have an item under here, audit questionnaire.
I'm just updating, I got the responses from everybody, so I finalized that. I gave it to you to sign tonight, and
Yep.
I will turn it into finance tomorrow
Very
morning.
good. We'll
So that's all
we'll
set.
mark that off for another year.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more thing, if I may interrupt.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair. I received an email from the IT department that they wanted me to sign the new IT programs, rules and regulations, I guess it was, and I want to make sure all the other commissioners got that email from IT.
I got it also.
And I responded to IT and took care of that, so
Thank you.
that's not your issue anymore, but it is for Daniel and myself.
Yep. Thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
care of that. Okay, Lynn.
Okay.
So the audit's done. Keith, we wanted a closeout report on Elm Street Pump.
Don't
I also-
panic, Keith, I'm doing that.
You're doing, okay. Lead us into it, Lynn.
Does this come from Mike? Let's start
Yes,
with-
this
Yep.
is coming from Mike.
Okay.
So, and there's actually more than Elm Street after I put this. So you have some closeout paperwork for the Elm Street pump station, certificate of final completion that Mike would like you, he's all set with it. He would like you to sign that. And he also gave us, which I gave.
One at a time.
Okay.
So let's talk about one at a time, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Mhm.
We had a few problems with Elm Street. Keith, do you know if everything has been satisfied down to the electrical panel thing and all the other stuff that was kind of up in the air at the end?
We've got the electrical panel pretty much taken care of. We're kind of just waiting to hear back about some parts that were ordered. And then we recently had an issue with the water meter, but I don't know if that really falls into play with the whole building. But
I don't think it would. I think
No.
that's an independent function. So what are the parts that we're waiting for, sir?
I believe one of them, it was just like a resistor in the panel for one of the bubblers.
Okay.
Can't recall the exact name of it, but it was
Right.
having an overheating problem in the summertime.
So if I may, Mr. Chair, I'd like to have Lynn, I will vote to sign this release tonight, the certificate of final completion, but I would like Lynn to confer with Mike Trank and relay the one outstanding issue that we know about.
And it's what is it
It's a
again?
resistor for one of the pumps.
But you can check with Corey about that tomorrow, or just you can firm up exactly what the problem is, because I'm just a stickler when it comes to paying the final payment. Unless, has our retainage been paid yet, do you know, Lynn?
That's what, you've got everything, we're closing out all the invoices that were paid.
Including the retainage.
Yes.
So the retainage should not be paid until all of the outstanding issues related to the project have been solved. And Mike can work with Sherbon and Corey on that. And I would ask you to talk to them before you have Mike submit this for payment.
Well, that one actually was already voted and approved for payment back on September 9th.
Okay, well, if it's already voted and approved, then it's a signature. But still, I think that we need to relay to Mike, through you, that there are some minor items that are not completed. And I'm sure Sherbon will take care of them, but it's all about the paperwork.
And then the next,
So we have to have a
So-
vote.
Need to have a vote. So we're looking at the final completion on Elm Street in the amount of $8,560.82.
Make a motion to approve the payment for certificate of final completion to Sherbon Incorporated for the amount
well,
of...
wait a
Well-
minute, you're confusing two. We're making a motion right now to sign the certificate of final completion.
I'd like to
No
make a
dollar
motion to
amount.
sign the certificate of final completion for the Elm Street sewer project. for,
I'll second the motion.
At the recommendation of Mike Trank, our consulting engineer.
Second the motion for chairman's signature.
And those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Now, the next one is we have a certificate of final completion for East Union and Riverview Park.
they're independent from each other,
He has it as one
I know that.
project,
because it was one project under
yeah.
terms of the contract. I'm gonna go back to Keith. Keith, do we have any issues at East Union or Riverview Park pump station that you and Corey are aware of?
East Union's good, Riverview Park, we had a few things, but everything's kind of figured situation, so
What?
everything's good over there at Riverview, so we're good.
How's the structure working out?
Really well, actually, it's a great building.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the certificate of final completion for East Union Street and Riverview Park Pump Station as recommended by our consulting engineer. And there is a payment due of $7,006.70 in conjunction with this document.
I'll second the motion.
Once again, Lynn, you're gonna talk to Mike about this.
Mhm. Well, that one's fine, you said.
Motion on table for the certificate of final completion, East Union Street, and Riverview pump stations.
Yes.
Those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
so
And
did we just approve both the payment application and the final
Yes.
completion?
Yes, because Keith stated that he thought everything was fine with everything. But since Mike has signed off on it, we've been relying on Mike to follow the money for us as well, Daniel. So,
so you, and that included the final payment for retainage of,
yes, I made that, I put that in my
That's what I thought I
motion.
heard, okay.
I stated it in my motion.
Yeah, my thoughts, so just double checking. Okay, and then the last one is, there is a payment application number 3 for Albert Street Sewer Replacement Project.
Where's that paperwork?
That is, just an
Oh,
invoice.
it's mixed into the,
It's the one, the two invoices were clipped
I see.
together.
There's two here?
okay, gotcha.
For me?
One we already did, one was the Elm Station one. So the Albert Street one, that's new, that's just a final payment application for release of the retainage.
And that is until how much, Lynn?
You
You know?
guys have it with the amount. I don't think I have, it. Let's see.
$4,257.60.
$4,257.60.
It's the last number amount to this application, number 8?
Yep, that's the
Yeah.
retainage, yep.
And once again, we'll go back to Keith. Keith, is Albert Street project completed to our satisfaction?
Yes.
All the grass grew down there and everything?
Yeah, the grass grew, there was a patch in the road, the Manchester Waterworks had failure in the main and they had to make a patch in the road, but
Well, that goes through the Public Works Department, right?
yeah, I believe so.
Because they would have had to bond that with Public Works, because that's a town road. And so I don't think that's germane to our discussion, unfortunately.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment application for the Albert Street Sewer Replacement Project in the amount of, or payment application number 3, in the amount of $4,257.60.
Second motion.
Hearing no further discussion, the vote on this motion, Dan?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Aye, 3, unanimous.
And that is all I had from Mike.
That takes care of Mike?
Yep.
One moment.
Oh, and I just want to say those invoices, those 3 invoices that we just paid, those were 2024 projects, and they were encumbered, so those are not going towards this year's budget. So that money's already been allocated.
So you gave us a munis statement here, Lynn?
That's just the, I just ran a quick one that shows you expenses
For
through
20
February.
For 26.
Yeah, through February. And I'd say quarterly, I can do this monthly if you want, but I have to rely on finance to do a spreadsheet for our assets. So They will run that, so I'll get that quarterly. They'll get us that information. So I can give you the expenses monthly, but the,
So I'm gonna ask you some questions about this. You ready for questions?
I might be, I don't know how depth you want it to go.
Well, let's look right at line 3, under sewer admin overtime pay. Is that overtime pay that we budget for you?
Yes, but we don't budget anything,
So how come we're 3305 in the red?
because there was one day I had an extra hour and they, I don't know, they.
That's
paid
fine,
me
we
for
don't,
it.
I don't
Yeah.
mind paying you overtime.
Can I-
Yeah, no, but I try not to do the overtime, I usually do,
Comp.
yeah.
Okay.
1 second. Do you have another one of those?
Another one of these?
Yeah.
You didn't get one?
I don't think so.
I thought I gave you one.
Oh, sorry, David, I thought, I was trying to see your phone. It doesn't matter, he's got one.
I got one now.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Then I look down to our workers' compensation is 100% expended. That mean they've already withdrawn the full amount for the year and put it into finance?
No, that's monthly. So you're looking at workman's compensation, you see that you have a couple lines there. You have the budgeted amount, 4721. Oh, yeah, they must, yes.
There's something
Yeah.
wrong there.
Why?
There's 14 cents available out of the entire year's workers'
Because they paid for the whole year, one lump sum.
That's what I just
Yeah,
asked you.
yeah, I know, and I had to look at it to give you an answer. Yeah,
We're also 100% on our property insurance. That's been paid
Yeah.
for the year.
yep.
I guess, is mobile communications our cell phones?
Yes.
And we've
And
already
it's-
paid for 77% of it already, and we just 2 months into the year?
That, I don't pay
Better put-
those
put a red
bills,
mark
and
next to
I
that and find
don't,
out.
that's all Brian, let me see.
You're just gonna have to figure out why that's
Okay.
77% expended at 2 months in.
It's 70,
What percentage you?
yeah, that's the 269
That's
compared to 400.
77%. We budgeted 1800.
It says we have 1,100 encumbered.
Oh, that's what it is, oh. I'll have to ask Brian, that's all Brian, I don't know anything about that line at all. I don't pay the bills, I don't,
Well,
so I'll
we're gonna-
ask him about
You gotta
that.
find out
Yeah.
why it's been so
Yeah.
upfront loaded then.
Yeah,
I understand, if you go down to sewer operations, I understand, well, we got 99% of unemployment compensation, that has to get paid out.
Mhm.
Workers' comp gets paid out,
yep,
the rest look good. Diesel fuel, something really wrong with that line. We've used 1,400% of our diesel fuel, and we're already over budget by $13.
Well, we budgeted $1.
yeah, we didn't budget diesel fuel,
We don't,
because we don't use, I don't know what, I'll have to look and see what that 1416 is, because we don't, did you guys buy diesel fuel for anything?
No, we haven't bought diesel since we had that last truck.
That's like 3 or 4 gallons of
Right.
fuel.
Let me,
so let's figure out why that
Yeah.
line looks funny.
yeah, I'll see.
Did
what
we
that
top
is.
up the tank at the
No.
pump station?
I'll look
And
No,
into
that, I
that.
think that's under the generator down the
Yeah.
lower section.
And any tank would be, have been filled up for a piece of equipment other,
Yeah, we
No,
have
we don't have
diesel,
any diesel equipment anymore.
we have diesel fuel at the sewer pump station,
Yeah.
second to last line, which we have a 500-gallon tank
And we
and
have a line for that.
$500 for a revised budget, and we didn't use any because the tank has still got the same fuel in it, haven't used the generator. But it's there in case the generator is run, and we can fill it back up.
Yeah, I'll check to see what that is, I'll still dig into that.
might have been coded to another department.
Yeah.
I want to thank all the commissioners and our budget writers and Lynn, because when Lynn and I went to the budget meeting, our budget was lower than the default budget, which we were complimented for, which I quite honestly was not aware that when we did our budget, because we didn't have our final numbers, and it worked out that we were kind of
Yes.
had it on the back and sent home early that night.
That was pretty
It
nice.
worked out well.
I was sweating it after going after the water department. They didn't have it as easy as us.
Anyway, Thank you.
You know,
Look into those
Yep,
anomalies and figure out what they are.
yep, we can do that.
Let's ask this also, I think we should, Lynn had talked about, or Lynn said that the commission decided to do this quarterly. I think we should do it monthly. I think we should get a
Yes.
report monthly, the Munis report monthly, and we should look at it monthly.
Yes, I can do this one monthly, but the one from finance showing what all our money and all our accounts and everything, that is quarterly. Is that okay? 'Cause
Well, this is the same thing, except this is just broken down. But just do it the way you're gonna do it.
No, because we can't see what's in all our accounts. We have 3 different accounts. We have the Citizens Bank, we can't get those out of Munis,
No, that's fine.
so they have to do a report for us
That's fine, so
manually.
let's do the monthly accounting of where our expenses
Yeah, our
are, month by
expenses.
month.
Yep,
And the quarterly accounting for our cash flow, cash
okay,
reserves.
that works, okay.
That's important, so this report becomes
A regular.
a regular report, and we're familiar with
Right,
what
right.
items we need to look
Right.
at.
Yep.
Keith, were you called out for any emergencies in the past month?
We were not, luckily.
Okay.
Pretty good over there.
I also discussed with finance regarding our monthly emergency calls, and Corey and Keith are both on board that since the commissioners ceded the authority to grant an emergency for overtime, that it needs to be duly noted on your payroll, which Corey is going to start taking care of for the future payrolls, because we talked with Danielle about it, and she said our policy is in place for our employees if they are on vacation that week, and if they get called in for overtime, you will get paid overtime. You do not have to work 40 hours of straight time in order to qualify for your overtime, because of the way we have our policy set up. Okay? We also need to, and I will work with Daniel on this, we need to have a written stated policy for this, because at the present time, Lynn, it's only in the minutes that we've authorized our superintendent and system foreman to declare emergencies. We need to go back to our sewer use ordinance, and we need to put a paragraph in that states that we have a policy for emergency designations, and we'll work on getting that into our sewer use ordinance, so that it's backed up by something more than a motion at a meeting.
Now I need to work with Mike for that, right?
You can
For
work.
this stuff in the sewer use ordinance?
He was the author of the one we
Yeah.
approved.
So why don't you just check with Mike and see where you recommend we put that in, under personnel, or what it's under, or if we have to generate a dedicated document that's on the file that states our emergency declaration policy.
And you guys still work for 10-hour?
Yep, and then we rotate. Corey works Fridays and I take
Oh.
Mondays off.
You got any applications for new projects coming into town anytime soon?
No, nothing.
You know, the planning board's been slow too.
Well, I didn't, but they also get applications for sewer connections and things that are outside the realm of the planning board. I
Okay.
noticed the patch at the property down by Park Lane is holding up very well.
Yep.
The patch is still staying solid all through the winter. A well-done patch. You don't get that all the time.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and Keith, any issues related to drain layer applications?
No, we haven't had any new applications come in.
Oh, Corey, I want my drain layers card. I still don't have it.
Yes, so we have one issue.
Yeah, I paid for it 10 months ago and I still don't have my card. Even commissioners pay for their drain layers license. No free ride.
And I believe we already took care of signing
Yep.
checks to be authorized through
Yep.
the warrant. Gentlemen, any other business?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dave Pierce, who is our current chair, for his 6 years of service, right? 6 years?
Correct?
6 years of service as a
6
sewer
years,
commissioner.
As in any public job, I learn a whole heck of a lot about what government does, particularly the sewer department here.
I want to thank you for your service.
I know I've been helpful in sort of looking forward as to what 10-year spending plans have been.
Well, I appreciate that, and I also appreciated all the work you've done on our webpage.
Yes.
You've been very, very helpful in reorganizing the webpage and modernizing it and getting it to be something other than some sort of a insignificant
Well,
webpage.
I wish you two gentlemen good fortunes if you can hopefully get somebody appointed to replace me.
I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm sure we'll figure
You
something
can
out.
find somebody.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. Jim, Jim,
I just
anything?
echo their thoughts.
Okay. Motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
Second the motion?
and those in favor will say
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Goffstown TV.